and probably never will. Anybody think some words? We might. This probably could use turn into a song, but this is just a doodad in A minor, I guess.
Welcome to the open mic at Oz's Music. It's the second Thursday of the month, and the call's gone out to songwriters all over this part of the world to come and join us, to play their songs, and to talk about them as well.
Here's a song that is a lot like Steve Goodman's song Vegematic. In Steve Goodman's song Vegematic, he fell asleep in front of the TV and dreamed about all these things he saw during his alpha state. So I fell asleep in front of the TV, but this is the age of cable, remember? So here's what I saw. Down here on earth, our attitude is bad. Been that way since birth. But it's the only microchip on my shoulder I've ever had. I got a set of uplink dishes, a very special set of cable wishes for you. No snow on the video tube. From right here in my room, I cast my beam to the stars. I get your look from afar. How I wonder where you are, my satellite, my satellite. Cross Joan of Arc with Carmen Miranda. You take the horse of Liz Taylor in the house of a nice man. You saddle up and make a trip to Eden to see that snake. Yeah. Neve says to Adam, hey man, I think your word was a fake. God says to Adam, can't you make an original mistake? Then Robert Mitchum walks in and he says to God, why don't you pick on somebody who's not made out of sod? And he pounds the air with his tattooed fists until the angels admit his righteousness. And the devil, he smiles to such a degree, why, a dozen more apples, they fall from the tree. That's how we come to discover gravity. From right here in my soul to the light in your eye, to the curve of your spine, to where the mountains shine, my satellite, my satellite, yeah, my satellite, my satellite, my satellite, my satellite. Thank you. Yeah, that was fun. Fun and a high tech and all. And so in that spirit, I hope you enjoyed it. Yes, I'd like to do a song that I don't get a chance to do very often because it's kind of one of those personal experience songs that you don't want to inflict on anybody, but by the same token, it means a lot to me because I grew up in Royal Oak, Michigan, the site of one of the post office incidents that happened there, you know, back in, this was 91 or 92. And my experience with postmen generally isn't a negative one, so I'll say that. Because a lot of people I know who work for the U.S. Mail are artists. A good friend of mine's a photographer, and a couple of people I know as acquaintances are disc jockeys, and they're a pretty prominent one. Ed Love, probably the most renowned modern jazz disc jockey in Detroit, just retired from the post office last year, and Jerry Lubin, one of the original ABX air aces from the underground radio days, is currently walking, delivering letters. So my experience with postmen are all, they're like really cool people. So when these folks were telling me about this boss that seemed kind of abusive and belligerent in the Royal Oak post office back in the early 90s, I was like, yeah, that sounds really bad. And I guess it got so extreme that somebody cracked. And a few murders happened, and I think 3 or 4 people were killed and some were wounded. So, and this song doesn't really point fingers per se, but then again it points. It's called Royal Oak P.O. A mother tucks her baby in. Children have gone out to play. According to the weather forecast, it's gonna be a normal day. A letter to California, it's just a piece of mail with no one there to warn you. Now it's time to tell the tale. His mind awoke in a nightmare. His future died in that dream. He'd been reduced to nothing I'd show him what nothing believed, and headache and his worry, his reason leaking away. But time will claim his anger tomorrow, today. Well, Tom McGuinn was an angry man, right down to his soul. Mad rage and killer. Well, he never played that role before. But some say he just couldn't take it. Some say they pushed him too far. There's fingers pointing to blame him, but no finger could point to that scar. We asked why. Why? But does anyone really want to know? We asked why they died. The Royal Oak P.O. First shot sounded like popcorn. Curious heads turned around to see the bloody side of vengeance. Who fired before they could flee? From Enid to Escondido, now they'd all know his name. But fame wasn't what he was after. He just needed someone to blame. As the panic spread, the postmaster fled. He knew time was coming for him. He ran out the back, he ran through the docks to the place where the light was dim. Quivering in the motor pool, stewing in his juice. When you turn up the fire, hatred. Well, you turn that hatred loose. We asked why, but does anyone really want to know? We asked why, but does anyone really want to know? We asked why, but does anyone really want to know? Why they died? Royal Oak P.O. A glacier knocks at your cellar door. The desert sighs in your bed. A crack in the teacup opens. Lane to the land of the dead. One fragile push and you're over. One final click and that's all. The thread that held you is broken. Into the darkness you'll fall. So you plunge your hands in the water. You plunge them up to your wrists. You stare into the basin. You wonder how you'd been missed. And a kiss of life seems much sweeter as a calendar pages blow thin. The world around you changes. change is back again. Thank you. Thank you. It's this is a song that happened because I went to my high school reunion. It's kind of a mistake. At that time. It's not that I wouldn't want to see certain people, but they're not the kind that come back to reunions, I guess. Well, Marty says, let's play a game of volleyball. Karen tells me she thinks that the sack race is the most fun of all. But I wished I'd stayed in bed, where the memories linger in my head of the jocks and their dreams, picking up the teams at the high school reunion. Has it been 5 years? Still playing our same old game. Has it been 9 years? Yeah, everything seems about the same at the high school reunion. Well, except for all the freaks, they're gone and cut their hair. The sweet smell of success, yes, it's in the air. Everybody's got their own personal sense of style, and I wonder how we smile as the frisbees fly through the alibis at the high school reunion. Has it been 9 years? The class president's still aboard. Has it been 12 years? Yeah, the cheerleaders don't giggle so much anymore. That's a good thing. They drove me crazy. Well, Marty says, let's play another game of volleyball. And Karen tells me she thinks that the sack race, well, it's the most fun of all. And the girl I thought was mine has 7 or 8 children in tow behind. And the homecoming queen, she don't act so serene after living on a kibbutz in Israel. Has it been 12 years? We're still playing our same old game. Has it been 15 years? Yeah, well, you look exactly the same. Has it been that long? Haven't seen you for a while. Has it really been that long? Can you still look at me and smile at the high school reunion? Yay, team. Rah. Thank you. I used 2 capos for this song because the way the strings are tempered on this, there's slightly different pitches when it's pinched on the octaves. So I just got to use 2 to make it really tight. And it works. This thing I'm going to play is called Passover, and it's inspired by Michael Hedges playing. And it's in standard tuning, except the D's dropped and capo's on the 5th fret. But of course, my thumb pick has a thin pick duct tape to it, so these could it be more idiosyncratic? I think not. Thank you. Thank you. That was called Passover. Yeah, so the idea is to do songs you can talk about, right? So that's what I'm trying to do tonight. And this is the first song probably that I wrote that I could talk about, really, because I wrote it in the 80s, sometime in the late 80s. And it was inspired by the birth of my daughter, who was born in 1984. So it's called Sweet 16 in the year 2000. And how, it's just about that whole issue. But I read somewhere, I think it was in Natural History or some magazine like that, some science journal, that they thought a human would be born during the mid-'80s that would make the present population of Earth exceed anybody who's ever been born and died in the history of time. It's kind of like, I went, woo. So then 12 hours later, after I slept and taking time out for meals, I wrote this song. It's called Sweet 16 in the year 2000. 'Twas the night before Christmas and a shot rang out. Once upon a time a child was born. History shrank on that very evening. Was the winter of '84. Now my little girl changed the world as I know it. The doctor reacted surprised, 'cause we were staring straight through the 21st century, looking straight into her eyes. She'll be sweet 16 in the year 2000, helplessly tumbling toward. Sweet 16 in the year 2000, year 2000, year of our Lord. Now she's a wide-eyed child in this push-button world. And tiny hands touch things that we'll never see. And signal by signal through the megabyte modem, it's an alphabet we cannot read. But I hold to the notion it's a big old wide world, as I cling to this island as it's washing away. Time after time after time, never ending, till I slip through the needle, meet you halfway. When you're sweet 16 in the year 2000, with a spirit that's burning so bright. Sweet 16 in the year 2000, won't you blow out the candles, don't you turn out the light. Hey, sweet 16, you got the world that we left you, battered and tattered and torn. Hope you hold your head high while you're crossing that threshold. Now there's more people living than have ever been born. They'll be sweet 16 in the year 2000. No one can show them the way, yeah. You can preach them, you can teach them, you can hear them, you can scare them, but it won't stop time passing and it won't make them stay. Yeah, sweet 16 in the year 2000, helplessly tumbling toward. Sweet 16 in the year 2000, year 2000, year of our Lord. Won't you blow out the candles, don't you turn out the light. Won't you blow out the candles, don't you turn out the light. Won't you blow out the candles, but don't you turn out the light. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Lily.
Thank you.
Thank you.